Well, hello there, everybody, and welcome to, I should say, our third and final day of the Consistent Creative Reset. Our last day, 3 days of refocusing, of some quick and actionable steps that you can take to make sure you're doing your best work. And as soon as I start talking, always there's something that distracts me. And today's my glasses. I don't know why I do this, guys. Every time I try to start the show, start the broadcast without any, hiccups or something, and then, immediately as soon as the camera comes on, I start noticing anything and everything that's wrong. And if you've been watching me for a while, you know that's like my habit, and I gotta break that habit. Anyway, let me welcome you. If you're watching this on the replay, if you're watching me for the first time, my name is Alan C. Paul. I'm a musician, creative coach, and author. And I'm here at God and Gigs to help you to build a better creative life from the inside out. While I'm getting started here, let me go ahead and make sure we share this with our creative community because we go live on Facebook, we go live on YouTube, but the problem has been that in our creative community, we haven't been able to go live for some reason. Oh, wait, did it work this time? Oh, no, well, let's do this. So forgive me while I have to do this technical stuff right in front of you because for some reason our software is not working with Facebook and it will not go live inside our creative community, which means there's a whole bunch of people who can't watch us right now. So I have to do it manually. But while I am doing that manually, hopefully you guys will hang with me for a couple of seconds while I explain what the reset's all about. So basically, the creative reset was all to help you to refocus your goals on what you started with in 2021, the the resolutions. I had a brain freeze there. The resolutions you set, the yearly goals you set, and then when we get halfway through the year, June 3rd today, it's right around the halfway point of the year. And you might go back and say, what did I even plan to do this year? Most of us, we fall off of our resolutions in the first couple of months or weeks. And then we go back and we say, okay, I don't even know what I plan to do. Life started to take over. We've got recovery from the pandemic on our minds. Musicians and creatives like us, we're like going crazy trying to figure out what's open, what's not open. Are we going to get totally back to normal? How do we even get back to normal? And all of these things are happening. And meanwhile, the goals you set at the beginning of the year to achieve creative things, to do your best God work for God and for others, it might have just gotten, turned to the wayside or just buried because of all the things that happened. So what I want to make sure is that I give you some tools to help you get back to what you planned at the beginning of the year. And what we did at the beginning, day one, was we did what's called an emotional connection exercise. We connected our emotional core, the things that mean the most to us and matter the most to us. Let me slow down because I haven't had my coffee and I'm probably trying to like push through all the energy and I'm stumbling over my words. So let me tell you, the first exercise was all about connecting your goals with your emotions. And we did that. So if you registered at godandgigs.com/reset, you're going to get all of these summary lessons, by the way. I'm going to put them all in one thing. So all the videos for the last 3 days will be connected. You'll get a playlist of those and you'll get all the lessons so that everything that you need is all in one part. But if you didn't register at godandgigs.com/reset, I don't know if you need it. I don't know if you want it, so I can't send it to you. So you can only get that if you register. Let's make sure this is shared right now. Day 3. And there we go. All right, so now I can finally talk about this stuff without having to stare at the screen. So, oh, by the way, let me see if there's anybody watching and joining me live early in the morning. Let's go over here and just see what we got. There we go. Timing was great. Thank you, Ja. I appreciate that. I see you now. Thank you for sharing that, man. So, what I wanted to get to, and I appreciate you, Ja, for jumping in and, always being a part of the community and, getting what you can out of this because these little things that we come up with, that I come up with, is always based on something that I feel this community could use and that I could use. And I know looking at my own board, the things I planned at the beginning of the year, if I even, remembered half of it, it'd be amazing. But without review and reflection, it all just goes by the wayside. And again, we get on a rat race. We just keep going and going and going and never saying, okay, am I actually getting closer to the goal that I set? And I'll tell you, even now today, I struggle with the practicality versus the creativity. And I'll explain a little about that and then I'll get into today's lesson. I feel like oftentimes the things that make us creative and make us very, able to open ourselves up to all this amazing ideas and novelty and things that no one's done before, a lot of times they depend on us doing things that are very boring, that are not fun, that are just kind of almost like going through the motions things, your craft, your practice. It's not fun. And it's really weird when I say to everybody, hey, we're creatives, but then the things I talk about are usually not that fun or not that creative. That's where I have to kind of like push myself and say, hey, Alan, you can't make this something that it's not. I can't make the creative lifestyle, you going after your God given goals and dreams, I can't make it exciting or sexy just by only focusing on, hey, let's do things that are opening up your brain to writing and make it creative and walk in the sunshine and let God speak to you and all these things that will feel great to talk about. They won't really actually help when it comes down to actually doing the thing that you have to do. We can't wait for the lightning bolts. You can't wait for the heavenly voice and the good feelings when you're in the middle of performing or creating and it's like it feels like heaven. But that's not what makes things happen. What makes things happen is when you don't feel like it, when you sit down and you do the scales for the 700 time, or you work on the plie, or you work on the drum stroke, and it's like this is not fun. But that's what gives you freedom when it is time to create, when it is time to do things because you've done these consistent habits. Then when you do get to the point that you get to have fun with it, it's really fun. It's not any, burden left on it because you've done the hard work and now you get to enjoy the reward. So I hope that makes sense. That's really why it was so important for me to share this consistent creative reset to kind of go along with our challenge and why I wanted to make sure that you got this. So let me talk quickly about lesson 3. Well, not quickly lesson 3, but I want to get into lesson 3. Okay? So this is what I want to talk about is if you've done the two things. By the way, I talked about day 1. I haven't talked about day 2. Day 2 was a time audit. So day 1 was connect with your emotional core. Day 2 was audit your time and really focus on whether or not you're spending time doing the things you say you're going to do. And the reason why that's super important is because, it's like the scoreboard, right? Scoreboard in sports. You can't argue with it. If you're losing, you're losing. If you're winning, you're winning. Like there's no way to say, oh, it's not really what it says it is. If your score is 100 and they are scoring 200, it's writing on the wall. And that's what the time audit is. And I wanted to be very blunt with you guys as you're watching this. If you're watching this as a reset or a replay, go ahead and put hashtag replay in the comments, by the way, so I know you watch this later. But yeah, if you are honest with yourself and you're not spending the time on those activities, again, no way around it. You're not going to make progress towards your goals. And even if you set up really awesome goals at the beginning of the year, and then you look back and you're spending maybe, 1%, less than 1% on your time of doing that particular thing, well, then you got to reevaluate. You got to say, okay, how can I actually spend time doing what I'm going to do? And making sure that time is focused on the actual work and not just thinking about doing the work. So that part is also super important. The Bible calls this redeeming your time. There's actually a book coming out by our friend Jordan Rayner. It's going to be all about how Jesus used his time wisely. I cannot wait to read that book. I got to read a little bit of the preview. I'll talk about that more whenever it comes out. Jordan's a great friend of our program. But the key is you got to be straight up with yourself. Take a look at the calendar. Be honest with yourself. Are you spending the time that you're supposed to spend on the work? And if you're not, you got to reevaluate and look back over that. So that's number 2. Now today, day 3 is what I have always used as my closing statement for any kind of challenge. Because without other people stepping in with you, including you right now, if you're watching this, you're helping me to step in and be consistent. You're forcing me to be accountable because you're here and I'm talking to you. And whether there was one person or 1,000 people watching this, if I did not hit the play button and you showed up and I wasn't here, then that's on me. So, what I want to enlist or encourage you to do is to enlist an encourager. And it's so easy for me to say this in this particular community because if I'm talking to you right now, you're surrounded right now in the Guided Gigs community with people who believe what you believe and who are trying to encourage you to do the right thing and to do the thing that will bring you closer and closer to your goal. But here's the thing, a lot of us, unfortunately, we end up feeling and acting like we're lone rangers and we don't have the support and we don't have the people. And I want to address that quickly because if you are one of those people who feels like nobody's checking in on you, that nobody's really encouraging you, that your family doesn't understand what you're working on, and you just kind of like are trudging away day to day over your gift and your calling, but you're not feeling like it's actually going anywhere, that's a sad and a hard place to be, but I want to tell you that it's possible to break out of it. And the key is you gotta humble yourself and be willing, and even at the times that you don't want to say, okay, maybe the people I feel that are supposed to be here aren't here, but the people that I can reach out to, the people that are close by, are available to me if I just keep showing up and saying, I'm willing to show up for you. Are you willing to show up for me? And that's what this creative community can do for you. If you're in the Facebook community right now, I find that people who don't post or share what's going on in their lives, they get really quickly disconnected. And sometimes it's like you ask and nobody responds. And by the way, this is not just for creatives in your life. This could be a spouse, this could be a brother, this could be a sister, this could be anybody in your world who you simply say, hey, I'm going to show up and tell you what's going on in my life. I just want you to be the person that says, hey, I see you. I know what's going on. I'm going to pay attention, and I'm going to at least be that person that I can like be a sounding board to. You need that in your creative life. My creative life did not grow until I got some people around me who saw things like that and who I could bounce ideas off of. Good morning, Tobias. Good to see you, brother. We're talking about enlisting encouragers. You know all about this. And we're talking about the community. We're talking about how you can really connect with people who kind of keep that circle tight around you so that you are consistent with the goals that you set up. And basically, I'm using this example because in my life, I can tell you between conferences, between the spiritual sheds we used to do, we did spiritual sheds locally. Actually, we may be able to go back to going doing spiritual sheds because now people are actually in rooms again at the same time. But these were community things that obviously my church was another circle, and but here's the thing: it was kind of tough. If I didn't feel like people really understood what I was trying to do, I had to go look and consider where is that group? Who are those people? And it's hard when sometimes you have to change circles. I hope I'm being very like blunt here and being clear here. I don't mean throw away your friends, but if the circle you have is not encouraging you at this point because they just don't get it, you may need to go find a new circle, and you may need to just be more open to the fact that maybe you've moved to a different level or different type of experience, and those five people in your life, those five people that are around you, that you're the average of the five people who are closest to you, right? So are you upping your average? Are you upping the average quality of the people who are around you? And by the way, when I say quality, I don't mean that people are bad or good, by the nature of the quality of their life. I mean the quality of what they can offer and value to the goals that you're setting. If you haven't yet found those 5, 10 people, you got to just say, okay, I'm going to have to look a little harder and I'm going to have to be a little more humble. I'm going to have to look a little harder and be a little more humble because the people that are around you may, I can look right now at my creative community. I can look at people like Kellyanne Jordan and Simony. Both of them are amazing creatives who are out there doing it and creating and writing and drawing. Michael and Simony both Hugie. I interviewed them in episode 104 or 105, I'm not sure. Tobias, another example of someone that I just interviewed, and you have been in my circle for a while, and I see you moving, and so it encourages me. And it's like, okay, I got to keep moving because if I see Tobias is still moving, I got to keep moving. I see Ja moving, then I got to keep moving. And so people that you're rubbing shoulders with constantly, who are doing the things that you see yourself doing, that is the key to consistently staying on track. I can think of marathon runners, right? Marathon runners famously running those packs. They don't usually separate, like maybe one starts to separate from the pack and they start to push ahead. But if you push too fast, too quickly away from the pack, what happens? You start to slow down and the pack catches up because the pack is using each other's as their energy. They're drafting each other, and eventually one person might shoot out from the pack. But that's only when they had gathered the energy of the rest of the group and paced themselves and used the group to kind of help harness their own pace until it was time for them to step out. That's what I'm talking about in enlisting an encourager. You got to have a group around you. You got to have what Jeff Goins calls a scenius. You got to have genius and a scene. You got to be a part of a scene, a part of a genius core. Van Gogh had this, where he had painters around him and the Impressionists. J.R. Tolkien, who wrote Lord of the Rings, along with C.S. Lewis and all these other great writers of yesteryear. They were in a group called the Groundlings. They would meet in a pub and they would just get together and start talking and sharing ideas about writing. You got to have that group around you, or else you're going to fall off your game in terms of your consistency. That's kind of just a fact of life, okay? So that's, and then, oh, I see that, Tobias. Yeah, let God do the connecting. I love that. And that's really important, man, to be prayerful and spirit led when it comes to how you find your tribe, how you find those encouragers. Thank you for reminding me of that, because I believe that wholeheartedly. And I think sometimes maybe what I'm getting at is people are kind of praying about it and they don't take action. The faith that works is dead, right? You got to do both. You got to find the action, got to step forward, but you also got to have faith that God is putting you in the right position so that those people will be there for you to help you to get that list of encouragers. I think of David and Jonathan, right? David and Jonathan in the Bible. Jonathan was second in command to the king. Should have been, the king eventually if he hadn't been killed because Saul was messing everything up. But David and Jonathan were like just knit together like brothers, had love for each other. But David had to kind of just say, okay, you've got your lane, I've got my lane, and at some point we had to separate. It wasn't easy for them because I'm sure they thought they were the only people who really understood each other. But God had to put that thing together. It couldn't happen simply by happenstance. And so I think it's so important that we check yourself spiritually, but also check yourself mentally and emotionally. And here's the big thing. These people that I'm talking about are right around you. Once again, the God and Gigs Creative Community, God and Gigs 360, which I'm going to tell you a little bit more about right about now in a second. These are the groups where you can grow. You grow fastest when you're in the group. You grow fastest when you're in the group. If you're not in the groups, if you're not connected, you don't grow. You end up kind of getting stagnant, and then you drop off your ideas and your goals and your dreams and the consistent behaviors that you're set because you just cannot walk this life alone. You got to do it with other people. So with that, that's why I'm going to go ahead and just be straight up with you and tell you, if you've been watching the reset, if you've been part of this reset, but you have not engaged in the community, none of this is going to be as helpful. However, if you do want to engage in a community, as a matter of fact, if you want to engage in a community that will supercharge your ability to keep your goals going, to stay connected with your emotions, to stay connected and stay in charge in your time and be accountable with your time. And then today to have the group and the seniors and the people around you that are going to encourage you constantly, then you really need to have that extra commitment to join that group, even when, it might be new to you. And this is new to you possibly. What I'm telling you about today is God and Gigs 360. I see right there, I have there, God and Gigs 360 offer, okay? So what Guiding Gigs 360 is our new groundbreaking program to help all of our creatives to connect together weekly, bi-weekly, and to thrive as completely confident creatives. And we do bi-weekly member calls. I have classes, we have trainings, we do co-working sessions. It is a hub and an incubator for all these dreams and goals you have, where you can get around people and be constantly encouraged. Have like a 411 911 kind of spot where we own this membership. It's not Facebook. It's not dependent on, you checking into Facebook. You get emails. You get direct connection with me. There's actually a Marco Polo app we have where you get direct connection to me anytime you want. You can just send in a video and ask a question. This is incredibly hands-on community that's built for you. And I am telling you right now, those of you who are watching the reset, you are the only ones that are getting offers like this to join this group, because you're already demonstrating a commitment to be a part of a group that you want to be consistent with and that you want to hold you accountable. So I'm only offering this till midnight tonight. Okay, I know this kind of sounds like kind of mean, like, oh my God, there's a deadline. Yes, there's a deadline, because I want to encourage you to act on this. This reset was all about action. And if I don't, tell you, hey, let's get off the bus, let's get off the side of the road, let's move, let's get moving. If I don't encourage you right now, I just talked about encouraging you, so I'm going to encourage you. Don't wait on this offer. This offer is going to go away this at midnight. Okay. So what the offer is you get 60 days free access to God and Gig 360. 60 days, 2 months for $0, no risk. You can cancel and you can look at everything. You can take all the classes. You can come to the member calls. And then 60 days, if it's not for you, it's cool. No harm, no foul. We will definitely see that, it's not for you and you can move on, and, no cost. You can also, if you join in the 60-day trial, this 360 offer, before midnight tonight, you also will get access to all of our future courses. We have a blueprint of 7 classes, and then another blueprint called Clear, which is 5 classes of advanced entrepreneurial training, plus a live stream class that will teach you how to build a live stream show and concert and platform that can pay you. Even now that the pandemic is closing away, you can actually access the same people that you accessed throughout the pandemic, be able to reach them, be able to get a ticketed or a monetized platform. And I can teach you how to do that. It is a class that's already available. These 3 classes together are probably worth about $700-800. But if you don't sign up tonight, that will go away, and you cannot get this bonus on top of the 60 days free. There's really nothing like this offer, guys. I'm just going to be straight up with you. I got to take it away because, like I said, if it's not acted upon, then people really don't, they're not going to move forward with their lives and with their dreams and with their goals. And I want to encourage you to move forward with this. So this is how you get that. All you got to do is go to godandgigs.com/360 offer. Let me type it in myself and make sure you guys see that. If you're watching this on the replay later on today, that's okay as long as you get in before midnight. Okay, but at midnight, this link will be deleted and you will no longer be able to get that offer. Okay, so I just typed it in so that you guys can click on it now. You can look at it. You can see what's offered in the program. You can see that there's a 0 cost for 2 months and that you can kick the tires for 2 months. I mean, that is literally, like I said, I can't really explain how no brainer that is. Like, if you don't like it, then you can quit before. But if you like it and you find your genius and you find your people and you find that we are encouraging you, you're going to want to stick in there. And by the way, the cost monthly after the 2 months is only $39.99 a month. So you're basically talking about the price of a couple of pizzas for the kind of commitment and consistent encouragement that you can get from people who think what you think, who know what you need to know, who want to grow the way you want to grow. The people that are in the group already are blowing it up. They are asking questions. They're getting answers. They are feeding off of each other. It's already going crazy. That's what I want you to be a part of as a member of Guided Gigs 360. Okay, so That has been the reset for today and the reset for the year. Okay. I hope that you've gotten a lot out of this. If you didn't sign up, by the way, if you're watching this later, but you never signed up, you only got like until midnight, same thing. Do you want to get the reset videos, these 3 videos? If you want to continue to have access to these, you're going to have to go to godandgeeks.com/reset, sign up, and then, oh, almost forgot. We did not announce this yet, but I have this here. Can you guys see this? This Amazon Dot, Echo Dot. I promised to give away this Echo Dot to somebody who registered. And so I'm going to give you guys, if you're watching this on a video and you have not registered, you have till 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Okay. And then at 6 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to announce the winner of this Echo Dot. Okay. Because I promised it and I got to do it, but I'm trying to give you guys one last chance to get into the drawing. Okay. Nothing special. All I have to do is just be a member of the registered participants to the reset. And then I'll simply do a drawing where I would do the random call. I'll just put all the names in the hat and draw it out. I feel like I should do that live so that you guys can watch me and see that I'm not cheating. But we'll figure it out. Okay. I don't know if I'll go back live at 6 o'clock or not, but this is, again, going to be sent to the person who randomly is part of the reset participants who signed up at godandgeeks.com/reset. So if you're watching this and you already are getting the emails, then you already are registered and for the drawing. All right. So I'll do that at 6 p.m. tonight. All right. I don't think there's anything else. Ja and Tobias, thank you for joining me. I don't know if I saw anybody else who was tweeting or texting. So I don't know if you guys were part of it. But if you are watching this later, go ahead and put replay gang in the comments. I know you watched it. Remember, God and Gigs 360 offer, 2 months free, 2 months for $0, plus access to all the courses I'm going to create in that class, in that course, in that community for no cost ever. Is just part of the package, which again is like it's literally like almost $1,000 of I'm just like, including in the package for only $39.99 a month after those 2 months of free trial. I mean, there's nothing you can beat that with. I think you're going to find your people. That's what I think. When you join, I think you're going to find your people. And when you find your people, those people are going to encourage you to stay consistent with your goals, stay consistent with your dreams, stay consistent with your actions, keep bouncing ideas off of them so you can be creative, so you can be that God blessed, that God initiated novelty and creativity and ingenuity, all of that you have inside of you. It's going to be brought out because you're around the right kind of people. But you got to get around the right kind of people, which is why 360 is there for you. Okay. God bless you guys. Thanks for joining this reset. It's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed teaching each week. Look at your emails for that 9 o'clock lesson. Those of you who are watching right away, 9 o'clock lesson comes in, and then I will give the 6 o'clock recap in the creative community where we'll also announce the winner of the dot. All right, you guys, God bless. Thanks for joining me and have a great rest of the week. I thank you once again for being a part of the God of Geeks community. God bless you. Praying for you. Take care.